So yeah, another little update on the printer. I got most of it working last night. Got auto home working, everything done. I didn't get the bed back on last night because I had the bed taken off when I was testing the motors and whatnot. But the bed's back on now. It's all wired in. Of course, turn it on. Didn't work straight off the bat. Why would it? I needed to update the firmware to the board again to define various bits and bobs for that. Anyway, so with it, how it is now all working. I've been testing thermal runaway actually on both the board and the nozzle end. I know they both work now, so they're both tested. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes into thermal runaway within the length of this video, because the wiring to the pins that are checking thermals is terrible. I've got to sort that out. That's my next thing. I don't want to print anything on it just yet. I just want to get all of the software kinks and everything worked out. But did have a question, and I'm not sure I know the answer particularly. So, but if I just go over here and go to the board, which I know I'm going to sort out the wiring for it. I've just got everything in everywhere at the moment and it's all over the place. Also, this fan should be on for the board, but it's not. I've got some fans set to when the stepper motors start running, so I don't know whether this one's going to start then. I guess I'll have to check. But if not, I'm thinking let's get a bigger fan, maybe an 80 or a 120mm even. Try and find a 12-volt one and wire it directly into the 12-volt, I guess. The board actually has got some 5-volt. Certainly got a 5-volt header, and the board works on 5 volts, so I might be able to pull 5-volt off the board somewhere. Might not be a good idea though. I don't know. Could give it a go. See what happens. I'm only going to burn it out, aren't I? But yeah, everything's working. I've now got the bed and all the firmware for the bed. Bed's at 68, nozzle's at 180. I used the default PLA settings for these two, which I'm definitely going to change. I don't want to have to change that every time I start, every time I preheat. And mind you, it doesn't really matter, does it? I guess I'm only going up another 10 to 15 degrees on the nozzle, down sort of 20 degrees on the bed. Guess it doesn't really matter. It's not gone into thermal runaway yet, so that's good. What else we got here? Yeah, my question. So I've got single motors on most of the axes, and I wanted to check. Let's go into the different camera mode. 1 second. There we go. That's much better, isn't it? That is much better. Oh Jesus, everything looks pretty good there. Sorry. So obviously got the multimeter all set to just check the voltages on these. Now these two here are fairly low. I've upped this one, which was actually the one that shipped at 600, and I've upped it to 950 on that one. Now the question I've got, let me just grab a multimeter on that quickly just to make sure. It was 950, and if I go here and here, I reckon I can hold those with one hand. Let's give it a go. There we go. Right, yeah, so 947 is about what I got it for, which is this one here. 947. Now that's for the Z-axis, and 800 wasn't enough to move it properly. 900 was, but it sounded like really bad. 950, it sounded a bit better, but still not anywhere near as clean as the other axes. Well, but they're belts anyway, and this is bars. But my question is on these AE, whatever they are, drivers, can't remember the name of them, but you guys will know what they are, I'm sure. On those drivers, what sort of voltage do I need on this little fella to run a pair of motors in series? Because these are in series. So both off this one driver, and that's why. So I'm just wondering what sort of voltage is required there. Answers on a postcard, I guess. Cheers guys, bye.